Hello, my friends. Welcome to South Valley Baptist Church, Thursdays at 3, where we have science experiment, we have some puppets, and we also have a Bible lesson, all for you. We created this for your viewing pleasure. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take it easy. Sit down, relax. You've been outside playing all day. You've been doing all types of stuff. Don't do anything. Take it easy. We got some fun stuff we're going to show you, and we're really excited about it. Here we go. Okay, welcome to science time. We got some fun stuff we're going to do today. Very excited about this. Let's take a look and see what we have with us. All right, first of all, we have this cup. This is a very special cup. Notice there's a hole in the cup there, and we got this little drum on the top. What are we going to use this for? We're not going to drink out of it because that would be pretty hard to do that. I got something special we're going to do with it. It's going to be really cool. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. Let's take a look here. We have our flathead screwdriver. We'll use that. We'll also use these special gloves. What am I going to use these special gloves for? What would you use special gloves for? Not picking your nose. No, you do some work, something to protect your hands. I have to use these to protect my hands for what we're going to do right here and right now. What else do we have? We have our famous lighter here. So you can get that going. There we go. We got our lighter. We also have some candles right here. And then I've got a hammer down here. I'll show you here in just a minute. And then we also have this. Oh, here we go. You might think this is cool. Our special ingredient. What on earth is that? Well, we're going to find out. There's something very, very special in here. Is this on fire? No. Not on fire. There's something inside here that I'm going to show you. Let's take a look at it. What we have here, our special ingredient inside here, oh, look at that, is called dry ice. What is dry ice? Dry ice is something very, very interesting, super duper cool. You can buy it at the local store. Some people take it and they'll travel, they'll put it in like a cooler to keep stuff cold. What dry ice is it is a solid form of carbon dioxide. It's a gas. And the interesting thing about that is because it's not H2O, it's not water, what will happen is whenever it melts, what it doesn't do is it doesn't leave a puddle. What happens when you have ice that melts? It typically leaves a puddle, and it's like, oh, it's wet, it's a big mess. This does not do that. This actually just dissipates into gas, and you can see if I blow on it, see the gas come off there? It's pretty cool. Now, one thing about carbon dioxide, when this in its solid state here, dry ice, is this is extremely cold, very, very cold. So you would definitely have to have adult supervision if you were ever to mess with this. This stuff's really, really neat, but it's super cold. That's why I have protective gloves on. If I was to take my hand and touch it, it would be so cold it could literally burn my hand, burn my fingers. This is 109 degrees below zero. So you think about what is freezing. Freezing is about 32 degrees, in between 31 and 32 degrees. If you have something below that, this water here in my cup is going to freeze solid, okay, at about 32 degrees. This is a lot colder than that. It's not 32 degrees. It's not even down to 0 degrees. Keep going. Minus 50, minus 75. Nope, colder than that. 109 below zero. That's how cold it is. So you have to be very, very careful with this. Now, one of the neat things is when you put it in warm water, I took a little chunk here and I broke off a chunk like this and I dropped it into some warm water here. I drop it in there and look at that. If you listen, you might be able to hear it bubbling a little bit. Then it starts to pour out. It's pretty cool, huh? Now, why is it going down? If it should be like smoke, it like goes up in the air. No, it doesn't do that at all. Carbon dioxide is actually 60% heavier than the air that we breathe. It's pretty neat, isn't it? So it settles. It drops down. That's why we can see it here. It slows down. It's pretty neat. Now let's take a look at this. I've got my hammer here. I can break this up a little bit smaller. Oh, listen to that. Whoa, did you hear that sound? Let's put a little water on this and see if we can get it to really make a fun noise. There we go. Why is it making that noise? Man, the dry ice doesn't like that at all. One of the reasons why is when I put water on here and then I push down, the noise that it's making, that's the gas escaping around the edge of the hammer there. Does not like that at all. So it starts to make that squealing noise. It's just it dissipating faster. You see we've got a little divot right there. So it's a lot of fun to mess around with. You can take, especially if you have hot water, put hot water on some metal and touch it, and it'll make like a really, really loud noise. So it's a lot of fun. You can do tons of stuff with it. So let's break a little piece off. There we go. We got our two pieces here. Now, what we want to do is we want to see how this reacts with fire. Fire versus dry ice. Let's give it a shot. Here we go. Now, I'm going to light these. There we go. Now, fire needs something very, very special. It needs oxygen. Carbon dioxide is almost the opposite of oxygen. Let's check this out. I have our two candles right here. I'm going to lift this one up so we can see it. Now watch this. Here it goes. Whoa, it put it out. The carbon dioxide snuffed out the oxygen. Therefore, the fire could not continue to go. Let's try it again. Here we go. Look at that. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Carbon dioxide snuffs out fire. Have you ever seen a fire extinguisher before? It has this type of stuff in it, carbon dioxide, frozen. They have a bunch of different new stuff they put in these days, but a lot of the older ones, they had frozen carbon dioxide. Literally how you can create dry ice is you can take a fire extinguisher and flip it upside down and spray that into like a sheet or a pillowcase, and you can get dry ice from that. So that would be a fun experiment to do someday. It's very, very neat when we stop and we look at this. Now let's try something else here. We're going to try one more, and then we're going to do some more experiments with dry ice next week. Okay, so we have so many experiments we're going to do. We need to have 2 weeks to do it. Now let's take this. I've got this little hole right here punched in. I'm going to put a little bit of water into there, just a little bit of water. All right, now I'm going to take some dry ice. I'm going to drop it in there. There we go. It's going to start to fill up. It's starting to fill up a little bit with smoke. There we go. See that smoke starting to come out here in just a second. All right, there we go. Look at that. Smoke rings. Boop, boop, boop. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can shoot one at the camera. Aha! Whoa, look at that one. That was a pretty good one. We're shooting smoke rings out. All from the dry ice. What the dry ice is doing is that heavy gas, the carbon dioxide, is settling in the bottom, and then we're pushing the air out, and then right here along the rim, it's causing that circle donut as the air pushes out. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's stop and let's take a look at it. Okay, this was pretty cool, wasn't it? Dry ice. Something pretty simple. It's just frozen carbon dioxide. You think about it, God's creations are just amazing. There's so many things we don't even understand, things we don't even know, but sometimes we can take something as simple as this and have a lot of fun with it. It's amazing. Think about that. Frozen carbon dioxide. God created it. It has a use, but sometimes we can just take it and mess around with it, and it's a lot of fun. Hey, guess what? We have another experiment on this stuff coming up next week. I've got more stuff to show you with frozen dry ice. Remember, it's not like frozen ice, it's dry ice. What's it made out of? Carbon dioxide. That's a gas. It's not a water. Okay, so when we take this and we go, we get that cool gas let off. Pretty neat. Hey, next week we're going to look at some more experiments. Let's take a look at the puppets now.
Hi everyone, I'm so glad you're here for our Bible story time, and today we have with us Bobby Sue! Hey Bobby Sue, come on out.
I'm trying.
Okay, hey, you're almost there. Here you go. Help move the arms. Hey, Bobby Sue. Hey, wait a minute. You got something right here. There you go.
Thanks. Hey, howdy, dog, howdy.
Hey.
I am so glad to be here with you. And you know what else I'm glad about?
What?
My two friends, Mary Lou and Yono, are here.
Yono.
Yeah.
Yono, we don't have a Yono. Oh, Yo Dude.
Oh,
you mean Yo Dude, right?
That's him. Yeah, that's him.
Did somebody call my name?
That's him.
I think somebody called me too.
Oh, Mary Lou. Hey, here you go, Mary Lou. Let me help you out here. Hi, Mary Lou.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello there.
It's a lot easier traveling like that, Miss Herring.
Yes, it sure is. Here, Mary Lou, I'm going to help you with your arm there.
Well, hello, little boys. Wait a minute. Miss Herring, I thought all the kids were supposed to be back this week.
Well, yeah, but they are in Sunday school, but we're still doing Thursdays at 3, and we're taping it for the boys and girls to see. It's going to be for this month of May.
I still get nervous talking to a camera. I mean, like, how does my voice sound?
You sound pretty good.
I
Yeah.
think it's okay.
Yeah.
But how was your hellos? That's the real question. Because listen, you just gotta look at the camera
Yeah.
and stare at it and say hello. It's not that complicated.
Give it a try.
Hello?
Hello? Hola! ¿Cómo está?
Very good.
Say, look there, Mary Lou. You did it. There's no need to be nervous at all.
Easy peasy, no need to be cheesy.
You know
that
what?
was super colossal, Miss Herring.
It was. And you know, Mary Lou, sometimes I get nervous talking to the camera too. So yeah, there's nothing to it.
Well, you know what? I also get nervous when I talk to the camera. In fact, the first time that I came out to talk to the camera, I'd get so nervous I just ate and ate and ate. I gain about 5 pounds every time I do a puppet show. In fact, tonight I got so nervous, I ate a half a dozen donuts, 4 hot dogs, and a pint of Rocky Road. These Thursdays at 3 are putting on a lot of weight. Yeah, anyway, but there ain't no need to be nervous about it. It's okay, just eat. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Miss Herring,
Yes.
I noticed the ruts were running a little deep on that side. So, that makes sense. But listen, Mary Lou.
Yeah.
I got a tip for you. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
You see that camera?
Yeah, right there.
Pretend like it's a giant eyeball. And it's staring at you, and then you stare right back at it. And you talk to it. It makes it easy and cool.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, Miss Herring, are we
Yes.
still learning lessons about the miracle?
Oh, yes, we are. In fact, today we are learning about 2 miracles. The first one is about a woman that she was not allowed to touch anyone.
Why was that? Were her hands dirty?
No, I don't know the answer to that one.
You do? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Bubsy,
it
tell
wasn't
us.
because of dirty hands. It's because she was unclean.
Doesn't that mean she had dirty hands?
No, it doesn't mean she has dirty hands. Listen to this. Unclean in the Bible means that someone has a disease, that they can't even go out. They're like in permanent quarantine, Miss Herring.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Well, if she was in permanent quarantine, how did she get near Jesus to be healed?
Well, I don't know that one too.
Go ahead, Bobby. See, what is it?
Yeah, well, she had to sneak into the crowd where nobody would notice like this.
Oh, that's good, Bobby.
And then she had to bob and weave between all the people. And yeah, and they couldn't see her. Anyway, I can't wait to hear this story. I love it.
Oh, Miss Herring, you
Yes.
said there were 2
miracles because the two are kind of related to each other. You know, that first miracle is that nobody even knew that it happened. You had a large crowd there. This miracle happened. Nobody even knew it or saw it. That's the amazing thing about it. And then the second miracle was missed by just a few minutes.
How in the world did that happen?
I know the answer.
Oh, go ahead.
The child that Jesus went to heal died, so it would seem that she just missed the miracle to save her life by a few minutes, Miss Harry.
That's right. That's right.
I have never heard these stories before. I can't wait. When do we hear the Bible lesson?
Oh, we're fixing to hear it in a few minutes.
Good, I'm ready right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so if you all just say goodbye to the boys and girls, we're going to have the Bible lesson next, okay?
Adios, amigo.
Bye. See y'all. Hi, everyone. I am so glad that you were here for our Bible Story Hour. Now, what we have done now for these past, I believe it is 6 weeks, we have learned about the miracles of Jesus. Now, Jesus did many, many miracles. Only 35 are recorded. And almost all of the miracles that he has done were in this area of Galilee. This is in the northern part of Israel. And in this, especially in this town of Capernaum. And so Jesus had been away, and when he came back to Capernaum, people were anxiously awaiting him. They were so excited when they saw him coming that people came from all over, and they instantly started coming to where he was. And of course, Jesus taught them. He taught them about heaven. He taught them about the kingdom of heaven, about sin, about salvation. Now, it is interesting because sometimes we understand things better when we see it illustrated or when we experience. Then we understand the concept that we're being told. So as Jesus is teaching the people, suddenly a man comes to him, and his name is Jairus. Now, Jairus is a ruler of the synagogue. Now, this is a picture right here of the synagogue right here, and this is a man reading. It's a very simple structure. There's one in every single village, and on the Sabbath day, the Jews, this is on a Saturday, they'll gather there, and you have a ruler of the synagogue, one of the elders, and usually they teach from the Word of God, they read it, the people come there, and they learn. Well, there's one man here, Jairus. Now, let me tell you about this man, Jairus, that was there. And Jairus and his wife always wanted children, and they were unable to have them. But much, much later in life, his wife was expecting, and they had a little girl. And for Jewish families, it's very important to have a boy, or that your firstborn would be a boy, because that carries on the family name. But they were so excited about having their own child, having a baby, and this little girl, I think, was everything to them. She was just the light of their life, just a delight every day to wake up to her. Well, at 12 years old, something happened. We don't know what it was. It had to have been something that happened very quick, because she became deathly sick almost instantly. Jesus was in Capernaum so much that if she'd had a long illness, Jairus would have gone to Jesus before then. But she has suddenly become sick, and now the worst of all things that could possibly happen, she's dying. The one child they wanted, she's only 12, and she is dying. Now, by Jewish custom, they have to, by the end of that day, by the time the sun sets, you cannot have a dead body that remains in the home. So she has to be buried. She has to be buried before the sun sets. So what happens is they have everything ready for her burial, because she will probably die before the end of the day. They have what you call professional mourners. If you really, really, really care about somebody, you hire these people. And they come in and they're professionals at it. They may not even know the person that died, but they wail and cry and just carry on with such mourning for this person who has died. And that's what they're paid to do. And this shows everybody that you really cared about this person. The grave had already been picked out. The grave clothes had already been gotten because it looked like today that she wouldn't live past today, and she would be buried before the sun set. So what happened was they heard that Jesus was here in Capernaum. He was back. Jairus went to Jesus and he fell down before him. Now this is important, and worshiped him. This is the leader of the synagogue. You do not fall down before someone and worship them unless they are God. And that's who he believed Jesus to be. And he begged Jesus, he said, my daughter may even already be dead. Please come to my house, and if you just touch her, if you put your hands on her, I know she will be healed. And Jesus said, I'll go with you. So he went. Well, he was teaching a lot of people, and a lot of people were there. And this was like, oh, happy day, this is great. All of them are going to be able to see a miracle. They were all excited. Everybody gets to see a miracle. So they all let's follow Jesus. And so here it is, Jairus. He's desperate to get to the house. We've got to hurry, we've got to hurry. And yet all these people are crowding the street, are crowding the walkway. It's slowing things down. He's probably thinking, no, everybody move. We've got to hurry to the house. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to anybody else, there was a woman in this crowd. She also is very, very desperate. This woman has what she is called an issue of blood. And according to Levitical law, she is considered unclean. That means that, I have to hold on to this so we'll go down. That means that she is not allowed at all to go into public. She's not allowed to be around people for fear of infection. So therefore, she can't go into a public setting where everybody else is coming to ask Jesus to be healed. Perhaps she's thinking, after Jesus is teaching, she'll wait till everybody leaves, and then she'll go up and maybe quietly ask him to heal her. She's had this disease for as long as this little girl has been alive. She's had it for 12 years. Every single dime she's had, she's spent on doctors, and now she's broke. She doesn't have another penny, and she is desperate. She's in pain every day. But she can't go in the public. She can't be seen in the public. So she's thinking, when everybody leaves, I'll ask Christ. And here it is. He's leaving, but he's leaving with a crowd. And her opportunity is going to be gone. She is desperate. Jairus is desperate. They both need Jesus. And she's thinking now, I can't let anybody know that I'm here. If I can just come up behind him and touch the hem of his garment, I know I'll be healed. So she sneaks in around. There's a huge crowd. People are bumping into each other. Huge crowd. She comes in close, close, close enough. And then what does she do? She touches the hem of his garment. And when she touches it, immediately she's healed. She's healed. She feels it. She knows it. And suddenly, Jesus, who is walking, stops. And it's like when a train stops, everything stops. I imagine when he stops, suddenly everybody sort of bumped into each other. Like, why are we stopping? He said, somebody touched me. Are you kidding? We're all bumping into each other. So Peter said, Lord, what do you mean somebody touched you? We're all bumping into each other. He said, no, virtue has gone out of me. The word virtue is a medical term for medicine. That healing power had gone out of him, and he felt it. Meanwhile, that woman realized she's going to be discovered. She's considered unclean. She's not allowed to be in public. Was she be in trouble? She kind of stood there quietly, hoping that nobody would notice her. But Jesus stood there. He wasn't moving. He said, "Who touched me?" And he looked right at her. He stared at her, looked straight at her. And she knew she couldn't be hid. And she came to Jesus, and the Bible said that she was trembling. She was afraid. And to tremble doesn't mean just shake. It means your whole entire body is just shaking. She was so afraid and fell down before Jesus and told him what was done to her. And Jesus said, "Daughter, be of good cheer. Thy faith has made thee whole." Now, why did Jesus do this? To humiliate her? To embarrass her? Not at all. The reason why that Jesus did this is, remember the story from last week of the lepers, that when someone is healed, they must go to the priest. And the priest says, "You're clean." And now that they are pronounced clean, they can go back out in public again. You see, Jesus is our high priest, and he pronounced her clean. And now she can go anywhere she wants because she's been pronounced clean by Christ. You see, what a perfect picture of salvation, of what he's been teaching the people, of what it means to be saved. Now, somebody has come to Jairus and they've said, "Don't bother. Jesus, no need for you to come. She's dead. Your daughter's dead." Oh, the worst fears. Jairus is probably thinking, no, by just this much, by just a few minutes, if it wasn't for this throng of people, if it wasn't for this woman with this disease, if he could just have been in his house just a moment longer. And he said, "No, Jairus, just believe." And he went to the home. And when he got to the home, you can imagine exactly what he found. What he found right here was those that were mourning. Oh my goodness, the wailing and crying and carrying on. And what he said to them, he said, "She's not dead, she's asleep." Are you kidding me? These people are professionals. They know what dead is. This is what they do for a living. They know what somebody is that has died. And not only did they laugh at him, they laughed at him to scorn, which is it's almost laughing at somebody at a very mean and hateful way. So Christ told them all to leave. They all had to leave. He wanted everybody out of the house, and he took 3 of his disciples in, and then the mother and the father, and he went over to the little girl, and he said to her, he took her by the hand, and he said, "Maid, arise." And instantly, life came back into her, and she was back from the dead. Don't you see what Jesus is showing in both of these miracles? It wasn't this horrible accident that this woman was here with the issue of blood, and now you have Jairus' daughter. No, this is a picture of salvation. He's showing them that here's a woman with an issue of blood who was considered unclean, but it is by his blood that we are made clean. We are washed from our sins. And then by Jairus' daughter, not that he just died for our sins, but also that he was buried, but he rose again for us, to give us newness of life, that we will also be with him in heaven. You see, God has told us each one of these miracles for a reason. It's a story. He's showing us salvation in each and every miracle in a way that we can picture it and understand it. Thank you so much for being with us here at our Bible story time. Thanks again. Bye.